when it comes to goals and having that sense of okayness, you are both quite spiritual. Where do you fall with like opinions in terms of like manifesting and stuff like that?
I get really cross.
I'll let Gabs link that one. You can let your frustrations fuel you there.
Yeah. It's really I get really angry when I read books about the law of attraction, especially I accidentally bought a book literally a couple of weeks ago. I just bought it based on the title. I'm not going to say what it is, but it looked like a book about business. I thought the general vibe was going to be just like a simple way, like bringing a new simplicity to business, which I'm obviously very much interested in. But it turned out it was literally just, focus on your goals and your dreams, and your thoughts will become things, and blah, 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 blah. And it may well be true that if you focus on what you want and you get into the right frequency and vibration, that you will manifest that giant house that you've, but it's, what the hell is the point of that? It's like, well, what?
Yeah, is it the face of satisfied desire?
Why, like having your shopping list of things that you think will bring you happiness? It's crazy. It's not crazy, but it's like you're missing the point. The point, life's in the surprises, isn't it? And the things falling apart and then revealing the gold, and you may well manifest this thing that you think you want, and then what happens? It's not gonna necessarily make you happy. It will just be like an interesting experiment. And then also, it's bloody hard. I think that's it, isn't it? It's like some people will find it really hard to throw away that feeling of there being obstacles in the way to what they want, in order to allow in what they do want. But for a lot of people, it's so hard, and I just think it's a really dodgy dodgy teaching, because I think it's extremely complicated, and that it doesn't really address the kind of the inevitable disappointment that you get with all forms of consumerism and acquisition. I
mean, there's so much to say about this topic, but if we reference it back to the book, I'm just trying to be kind and not sort of throw the whole thing under the bus, because there could be some, there could be something that's helpful within it. But when you reflect on that experience of okayness that you were talking about, which we could kind of describe as equanimity, being even about stuff, not being lost in sourness about life, or into some kind of law of attraction, like everything's perfect and I can manifest my dreams. But when you're in that okayness and you're prepared to stay with it and explore it, you realize that there is a perfection to being. And I don't mean that as in you become perfect, but I mean that there's a fullness, that there's nothing lacking actually when you stop striving and you're prepared to stop. And it's paradoxical, the thing that you've been looking for, that you thought would complete you, kind of dissolves into, wow, there's a completeness here already. And then through that recognition, you start to see the magic in life. You sit and wonder at your children playing in the garden, and you find beauty in the mundane, and the lots of things that the classical spiritual texts talk about comes to you from that willingness to actually do the opposite of the law of attraction and give up striving and trying to get to something. So I think that's probably the heart of, in some ways, of what we have to say, along with the recognition that the law of attraction is very good at selling books about the law of attraction.
It really is.
Yeah,
I know. I don't mean there's also an immense playfulness to it, and I think there is such fun to be had in life through chasing the things that are fun and the things that appeal to you, and seeking them out and bringing them into your life and playing with them. But I think there is you know, we also have to recognize that as much as we can attract the things that we want into our lives and seek them out and try and plan to bring them into our lives, we are also going to have suffering, and bad things are going to happen, and things that we don't want are going to come into our life as well. And I think that's an added problem with the law of attraction, is that it will place that on your shoulders and say that you have been at the kind of frequency that has brought this illness.
You manifested yourself a brain tumor by accident.
Yes, exactly.
Read the wrong book.
I mean, what? Yeah, you read. What an awful teaching that is, because we're all at the mercy of happenings, and this concept that we can control all of it is very dangerous.
Does rather suppose that we're, you know, more in control. I don't think any of us can say how much we can or can't control in this life, but we can all recognize that there are certainly things that we're out of control and if we were to, you know, this is an interesting experiment. If you're listening, you want to try this at home, draw 2 circles and write inside one of them all the things you can control, and then in the other one all of the things you can't control. And I'll give you a clue: you'll need to make one of the circles a lot bigger than the other one. Yeah. So this idea that we can just bring it all in, you know, is maybe a little sticky.
Good. Perfect.